Hello everybody, it's George from Ireland. Well, here I am in Haywards Heath, which is a town in West Sussex, United Kingdom. Perhaps the most middle class town in this county. So we're a bit south of London. Is it 30 miles south of London? Just north of this town is Gatwick Airport, the United Kingdom's second biggest airport. So it's very much a commuter town because the excellent transport links. You can be in London Victoria in half an hour, and Brighton on the south coast, you can get there in 18 minutes by train. And extraordinarily, Haywards Heath station's got 3 exits. I got that wrong. What else? So the population of the town is almost 40,000, and it's almost doubled in the last 20 years. So a bit of a boom town. I might not look like it, but all of these mid-market shops in the high street, a few charity shops because of online shopping, and likewise the restaurants are about the same thing. So it's got a few schools, maybe slightly older population. Sussex being one of the most prosperous counties in the United Kingdom, or even in South Britain. What else do I say? Oh, Cafe Nero, can't get in without Cafe Nero. I used to think that it was an American or an Italian thing. No, it's British. It's founded in Chelsea about 30 years ago. So Haywards Heath, the heath being an area of fairly flat land which is unsuitable for ploughing, thin stony soil where only like shrubs and some bushes and stumpy trees would grow. So the town's got a United Reformed Church, an Anglican church, surprise, surprise, a Catholic church and a Methodist church. I think no non-Christian place of worship. There are not that many ethnic minority people here. A few Turkish barbershops, a Romanian shop as well, and look at that, some empty shop units. So even Haywards Heath can't escape difficulties getting retail on the high street, rents being so high and all the online shopping and stuff. And astonishingly, he's actually got a few functioning banks. So what else about Haywards Heath? Well, the Haywards, as in meaning it's an Anglo-Saxon for this like fenced off area. Could be by bushes or whatever, or could be an actual fence. I know Haywards is then a surname, so it used to be a very conservative area, but the town council is mostly Liberal Democrat these days, after the Conservative Party, fell into rack and ruin under Rishi Sunak. Thanks a lot, Rishi. And what do you see? So not everybody is prosperous. You've got pound land over there, so no need to ask the price, okay? What else would you want to know about Haywards Heath? So it's mostly flat. There's a bit of a hill where the old water tower is. There's a lot of green space. Famous people from here: Natasha Bedingfield, about the only one I've heard of. Oh, Greta Scacchi, the actress, grew up partly here, partly in Australia. The sort of Italian, British, Australian actress of White Mischief fame. I just don't think what else she's been in. Was seen as like a real hottie in the 1980s. Decidedly past it now. Anything else? There's some nursing homes here. So there's a cricket ground. There's safe, very low crime, so they say. And you look at the traffic situation. I mean, I know it's a Sunday morning, but still nice, wide roads, plenty of parking spaces. So there's some handsome Victorian townhouses. There's some very bland houses. So the railway came here in 1841. And remember, the train was only invented 200 years ago this year, so it's pretty early. It's the main London to Brighton line, and the Prince Regent, later King George IV, he'd made Brighton fashionable with pavilion and all that. So that's where London went to have fun on the south coast. Obviously, Brighton being now the unofficial gay capital of the United Kingdom, a bit of that spills over into Haywards Heath, it being so close. So it's quite a middle-class town, like I was saying, crawling nearby, so like the working class equivalent. This town is officially twinned with some towns abroad. What else might you want to know about it? So then it became a commuter town from fairly early on, by the late 19th century, because it wasn't, even then it was only a bit over an hour into London by train. As I say, it's much faster now. And obviously after the Second World War, when the middle class began to afford motor cars, that made it even more so, and the working class found that automobiles were within their financial reach by the 1960s. Went a bit of a declension in the 1990s, but has picked up again. So obviously a bit of a boost because from Gatwick Airport, we're wanting to be able to fly away or fly in, or even working there, but living here in Haywards Heath. said to have good schools. Oh yeah, Richard Osman, the TV host, he grew up here, and those are the only people you ever would have heard of, methinks, who have come to Haywards Heath. So a little bit of a hill, and they're very well provided for by supermarkets. I think the really wealthy people don't live in Haywards Heath they live slightly outside, small gated communities, and there are a few housing estates. So Haywards Heath is like sort of subdivided into a few other villages. Look there, that church there, I think it's the Roman Catholic one. All right, so plenty of shopping and dining options and a lot of pubs, so prosperous. People have clearly got a bit of money to spend. Oh, and the Catholic Church has got St. Joseph's Primary School right beside it. Believe, achieve, succeed. Well, very worthy sentiments. Yeah, so it doesn't have any particularly old buildings. St. Wilfrid's the Anglican church, and that's not even that old. It's early 19th century. Nothing medieval. There was a battle fought here at Muster Green in 1642 between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians. There was no artillery involved, but the Parliamentarians bested the Cavaliers, who left over 200 dead on the field. I mean, that was very high, considering the population of England was thought to be only about 4 million at the time. Right, obviously we know the Parliamentarians won the whole war, not a decisive engagement, and this was fairly strong parliamentarian territory. Remember, southern England, eastern England were parliamentarian largely, whereas northern England and western England were mostly royalist, Wales mostly royalist, Scotland mostly, those days, yeah, parliamentarian because the Covenanters, Ireland, we were solidly royalist, and so on. Okay, so that's probably enough from sort of heading out of town, and there's some lovely dells and shaded groves and so forth, so it gets a bit more higgledy-piggledy. I'll show you what I mean by about these spacious houses of the early 20th century, but some of the things built post-war are quite hideous. There's nothing high-rise, like nothing more than, say, well, actually, there is one fairly high, so it's sort of 8-story building, but most things exist as blocks of flats like 5 stories at most, and just very affordable. It's not affordable now. It's very pricey. It's not quite London prices, because bear in mind we're in one of the wealthiest counties in the realm. Moreover, the proximity to London, Brighton, and Gatwick Airport means that it's a very desirable residence. So the value of your property is only going to go one way if you live up here. So, you know, just got to watch out for the dog walkers and the cyclists and so on. Okay, so that completes our visit to Haywards Heath. What do you think? Not much to write home about. Thank you for watching my channel, and make sure you subscribe on Patreon and donate on PayPal with the greatest possible liberality. And by the way, donors, if you want me to give you credit on air, do say, and I shall thank you for your generosity. All right, everyone, so toodaloo from Haywards Heath, and see a late 20th century building. Unbeautiful, what do you think? Not hideous. See what I'm talking about on the other side? These sort of fairly cheap and bland flats. I mean, I know it's not trying to be disparaging. I'm a very poor person myself, but even on a low budget, couldn't you just make something a bit more aesthetically pleasing than that? Some of these are unattractive. And then some mid-market low-rise offices, and that's the problem, because obviously since COVID there's a lot of working from home. I don't know if this one is even in use. It's not as bad as other towns I know. Okay. And you see that the colour is mostly beige or brown, so uniform, almost monochromatic. So rather unimaginative, boxy architecture. Right, toodaloo everybody from the fair borough of Haywards Heath.